Hi, class of 2025. Welcome to Scappoose High School. Really excited to have you here today so we can share with you all the awesome things that are going on at our high school and introduce you to our staff and look at our class schedules and like I said, all the awesome things that are going on here. Introductions, I'm Jim Jones. I'm the principal at Scappoose High School.
Hi, I'm Brad McKetty, assistant principal at Scappoose High School. Welcome to all freshmen.
I am Adam Strachan, the assistant principal and athletic director at Scappoose High School.
I'm Alex Park. I'm the counselor here at Scappoose High School for students with the last name H through N.
And I'm Erin Pinkstaff. I'm the counselor at the high school for students' last names that starts with A through G.
And I'm Beth Schmidgall, and I'm a high school counselor for kids with starting from O to Z.
I'm Josie Bradley. I'm the registrar here at the high school. Oh, goodness. Carry on.
So I wanted to take a second to welcome you again to Scappoose High School. One of the things that I always encourage our incoming freshmen to do is get involved. Those students that participate in 2 to 3 different activities or athletics throughout the course of their high school career typically do a full GPA point better than their peers who don't participate. We've got a lot of awesome clubs, sports, activities, and I would really encourage you to get involved in those. And then also, maybe if you haven't been someone who took school really seriously before, now's a great time to hit the reset button, do the best that you possibly can, because these grades will follow you into adulthood and can open a lot of doors for you.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the Scappoose High School schedule. So we operate on a 2-semester schedule. You can kind of see that here. And each semester is 15 weeks long, and there's 6 classes per semester. And then we have kind of a unique little mini term at the end of each semester called J term. And you can see that you get the chance to take 3 kind of mini electives during J term. And that's also a time when students can make up credit for classes they might have fallen behind in. And so this is an example schedule for a typical 9th grader. Obviously, it wouldn't be in this order, but every 9th grader is going to take English. You can either take English 9 or honors English. We recommend that if you want to take honors English, you have a B or higher in your 8th grade English class. So that's something you can talk to your English teacher about when you're forecasting. Typically, 9th graders will also take physical science, global studies, and then math is another class you're going to want to talk to your 8th grade math teacher when you're forecasting for math to make sure that you're in the right placement. Yeah.
Hi there, Brad McKetty, assistant principal again. I want to talk to you a little about our daily schedule. Here's a couple of examples. Our regular schedule on a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. You'll have a 6-period day. They're going to be an hour-long classes. You're going to have a 35-minute lunch on those days, which is our typical day. And then we're transitioning to an early release Wednesday this upcoming year, which has been a little different for us, but we are going to still be, we're going to have 50-minute classes, 6 periods every day, and we're going to get out at 2:30 is what will be our release time for Wednesday. And I'm going to go a little bit into our J term schedule as well for you. Just an overview. Those are going to be 105-minute classes. We'll give you the hourly format in the fall. Got to do a little bit of planning with the Wednesday release. And the great thing about J term, it's a 3-week term. We're going to have it twice in the year, in January and also at the end of May and part of June. There are 3 classes that you're going to get to forecast for. Some of those will be credit recovery classes, but also it gives you the ability for extended learning. You're going to be able to take some classes that are quite interesting, that are going to help kind of give you a little bit of a snapshot into maybe some post-secondary opportunities, and it's also some thematic core classes.
Right, Erin Pinkstaff again, and I'm going to go over graduation requirements. In high school, there are very specific classes you must take and pass in order to graduate. In the high school, we have credits and transcripts, and that is something that's typically different than what you guys have in middle school. So a transcript is a permanent record of your academic high school performance. And it includes a couple of different things to show off what type of student you are. So your grades, the credits you've earned towards graduation and the ones that you still need, your GPA, so your grade point average, your attendance, and then your progress towards graduation. Throughout each semester, you'll earn 0.5 credits per class. And then for each J-term class, you earn 0.25 credits. So each J-term, you'll earn a total of 0.75 credits. And then you need 24 total credits to graduate. And like I said previously, you do need specific classes to meet those 24 credit requirements. And so you need 3 years of science. Like Mr. Park said, you'll start out in physical science and then you'll move on to biology. And then in your 3rd year, you have a couple of different options for science classes that you can take, also including dual credit options. So a class that you could get high school and college credit for. For math, you need 3 credits as well in order to graduate. Most freshmen will be starting out with algebra or maybe even geometry. But if you're on the algebra track, you'd move to geometry your sophomore year, and then again in your 3rd year, you're going to have a couple more options in terms of which direction or which path you choose to take for your 3rd year math. With social studies, you're going to need 2 credits. You'll start out with global studies, and then you'll take either American Studies or AP US History your sophomore year. And then in your senior year, you do need to take a civics and econ class. And so the civics class will be 1 semester, and then the econ class will be the 2nd semester. You need 1 credit of PE in order to graduate, 1 credit of health in order to graduate, 4 credits of language arts. And so that's the only core subject area that you need all 4 years of high school. And then 6 credits of electives, and then 3 credits of fine arts. And the fine arts is kind of an umbrella of classes. So it can include CTE or career technical education type classes like you would take with Mr. Kilborn down in our shop. So like a manufacturing class, or it can include some of our performing arts classes like band or choir or theater. So it can, that fine arts credit can look like a couple of different things.
All right, I could talk about essential skills and test taking, everybody's favorite thing. So in order to graduate from high school, we need to have the essential skills met by the end of our 12th grade year. The essential skills have to be met in math, reading, and writing. We have a lot of different ways to meet those essential skills. As you can see on the left of the slide there, the assessments that you can take, the Smarter Balance, which you will take your 11th grade year, your junior year. We also have offered the ACT, the SAT in the past. PSAT will take your sophomore year, and AP math and reading exams also will count. We also provide opportunities in work keys, which is another form of a computerized testing that we use. And then also you'll have opportunity in your classes, your core class of math and English to meet those work samples. So that would be something that you'll do twice a semester in each one of your core classes. So you're gonna have a multitude of ability to meet those essential skills. Again, you'll have the 11th grade year taking that Smarter Balance. And we really try to give you as many opportunities as possible to meet those essential skills through class and also through assessments. And you'll work with your counselors and your admin to make sure that we're meeting those necessary essential skills in order to graduate by your senior year.
And I'm Miss Beth again, and I'm going to speak to you about post-secondary planning. And basically, we're going to be helping, help you prepare for college, work, or your goals down the road. There's different paths for everyone, so we want to make sure you're taking the most rigorous class that you can manage, so that when it comes to your junior year and you decide you want to go to 4-year college, you're in good stand for that. So a lot of the classes, honors, AP, or college credit, are important to take because they will help you down the road. So we just want you to work closely with the counselors, and we'll help you certainly choose the right classes. So there's many different things to do as you go forward. A trade school or apprenticeship, that one is pretty nice because it's a debt-free path. You know, the apprenticeship programs, they're going to pay you. They offer to pay you while you're learning the trade. So that's certainly a nice path to take if you're interested in perhaps electronics, mechanics, you know, construction, masonry, something along those lines. Certainly follow through with that. You'll need a high school graduation requirements are met. The minimum age requirement would be 18 or older. The math requirements, they depend on the program, but often passing pre-algebra or algebra with a C or better. The standardized placement test is depending on the program trade again. There's usually an application or an interview, but again, most of these are free, so that's certainly a wonderful path to take. Another one is the United States military. You know, that could be Army, Navy, Air Force. I grew up in the military, so you get to see the world. They'll pay for 75% of your education. So there again, it's a very honorable path and one to certainly look into if you're interested in that. There's also the 2-year community college. You know, with that one, the Oregon Promise Grant is wonderful. I'd never heard of it. I'm new to the community. And if you have a 2.5 GPA or better, you can go to any community college for free. That's an awesome deal right there. Like Portland Community College or Central Oregon Community College. And then after the 2 years, you can go on to a 4-year, depending on what you want to do. But that's certainly a valid path to take. The 4-year, there are 7 public universities here in Oregon. There's Eastern, Southern, Western, University of Oregon, Oregon State University, Portland State University, or OIT. But for these, I want to stress that you need to take a language. They're looking at least for 2 years, and we offer Spanish. So I certainly would encourage you to take that. It's a necessary requirement for most of them. Also, you know, the high school graduation requirements need to be met. You have to have a high school diploma. All courses have to have a C- or better. And again, 2 years of the same world language. The SAT or ACT, currently Oregon schools, I believe, are not requiring it, but if you would like, if your grades don't reflect what you feel you should be achieving, I would certainly encourage to take the SAT or ACT. Usually the minimum GPA is 2.75 to 3.0. And additional coursework and other factors may increase likelihood of admission. And again, that goes into the AP, the honors, dual credit classes. They're looking at all that. So the 4-year selective private colleges is like University of Portland, Lewis and Clark, and Pacific University. These are a little more difficult to get into. That's where you might want to take an extra year of language, 3 to 4 years of social studies, 3 to 4 years of sciences with labs, 3 to 4 years of math through pre-calculus, arts and challenging electives, competitive GPA, mostly A's and B's, competitive SAT, and again, honors AP or college credit courses, and extracurricular special achievement. But again, you know, there's no one path for all of us, so it's whatever you choose. But again, being in 8th grade right now, you might not know what you want to do. So that's why we, as the counselors, we want to guide you and help you to make the best choices going into 9th grade. So please be sure to reach out to us.
Hey, Josie Bradley again, registrar here. So I help with forecasting, grades, transcripts, and all of that. So I am going to help walk you through steps to forecasting. We will have everything online, but I'm just going to first just tell you what we will have. We have something that will look like this. The academic course guide that is electronic. We will also have we will put up on the website a paper version of forecasting, just so you can kind of make notes as you go through the booklet. And so the next screen, I will show you where you will find all this information. The high school website, and right in the middle with the little graduation cap is a tab for forecasting, and that'll take you to everything you will need to do. Now, scrolling down a little bit, you'll see the materials that we'll have available, and let's get right into that right now. We will have, obviously, this presentation video will be up on that website in case you have missed anything and you want to revisit it. We will have the electronic version of the course guide, and we will have the forecasting form that you can pull off. And so this is what the electronic version of the forecasting guide will look like. Go ahead, Erin. The guide. Yeah. So in the first part of the book, you will find a ton of information that you will need to know about the high school. We have information to help you, guide you through your 4 years here. We'll talk about grad requirements in case you missed that, or in case you want to hold on to it. We'll have policies and procedures in there. We have on page 4, we have a guide that will help you plan your 4 years here. So you can put down, I'm going to do English and all my electives, and then plan out, like, do I want to go to a 4-year university? Let me plan that now, or start planning it now, so that you make the greatest choices that you can for your future. So everything you want to know is on the core part of the book. And so please read through all those, because there's lots of information in there that you'll want to know about weighted grades and policies for canceling or changing courses, and just what does it look like here at the high school. The second part of the guide will have all the course descriptions, and in that we have some teachers, not everybody, but some teachers have put, we've added a video clip to the courses. So you will see that next to the course. It'll have the red video link next to it. And if you click on that, you will see a teacher explaining maybe a little, maybe a lot about what that course or courses look like. So that's a fun little addition. Each of the courses have you can go back. Each of the courses have the grade level, and if it's 1 semester or 2 semesters, and whether or not you need a prerequisite for those courses. So for instance, if you wanted to take the theater arts right here on the screen, you would have, there's no prerequisite for getting in, and you can take any of those years. And then this course you can take as many times as you want to throughout your school, here at the high school. If you say are at Art 2 on the next page, you see that that's a 1 semester course, but it requires a prerequisite of Art 1, meaning you can't just jump into Art 2 without having taken the Art 1 first. And a lot of these things you have to take those necessary steps, because they're part of a CTE program or a program of study that kind of requires us to have you going in those steps. Okay, hold on. So I say read the description, because a lot of kids just pick based on the title, and a lot of kids also pick just what their friends are taking. And yeah, that's that's one way to go. But you're in high school now, and like they have just explained, that everything in the high school is a permanent record. So if you're only taking art 3 or art 2 because your friend is, and you don't really like art and you're not getting great grades in it, that's not going to give you the best outlook on future. Or if you're wanting to take AP only because your friend is, you're not ready to take AP, you know, you really have to read the descriptions and know what it is you're getting into. Which brings me to another piece. We do have a number of more advanced classes that you can take while you're here, but you really need to make sure that it is right for you. I mean, everybody starts out with, yes, I want to take the AP or I want to take honors, but we've put suggested prerequisites or suggested grades, or whatever the prerequisite suggestion is, we've put those in there for a reason so that you will be successful. So really pay attention to those when you're making your choices, so that you will end up with a good high school transcript.
All right, Erin Pinkstaff here again. And I'm just going to go over the forecasting form. So again, you can find it on the forecasting page of the website titled 8th grade forecasting form. So you'll click on that. And then as you can see, there's a link to the academic course guide if you need to reference that. Students should enter their last names in, and then their first names, and then their cell phone number. It's nice to have a student's cell phone number so we can call them directly if there are any issues with forecasting, and we can speak with them about some alternatives, or if there's anything we need to change. And then you get down to the part where you're starting to forecast. So we start with our core subjects. So the first one's language arts. And as you can see, you can reference the course description guide on page 25 to learn more about the 2 different options. There's English 9 and then Honors English 9. Again, we suggest that you have a B or better in your 8th grade language arts class to take Honors English. We think that you'll be more successful with this course if you do come in with that suggested grade. So for this one, we're going to just say we're going to pick English 9, and then we'll move down to math. And students will be working with their math teachers at the 8th grade to determine what the best placement is for math. As we talked about in this previous presentation, we do expect most students to be doing algebra. So I'm just going to click on algebra for the sake of just covering most of our students. But again, we understand that there are students that might be in pre-algebra or geometry or advanced algebra 2. But do, again, consult with your current math teacher. And then they'll also be providing the high school with lists. So if you feel like you're unsure, that's fine too. We'll get that information from the middle school. And then we'll move down to science. Again, it'll show you where you can reference the course guide to learn more about the science options. But most students, like we've talked about, will be taking physical science. So we're going to click on that. There will be a couple of students that come in and they've already completed geometry, and we feel like they're moving into a pretty high math level. So they would be successful also with a higher science level. So they'd be going into biology. And then down to social studies, all students coming in as 9th graders will be taking global studies. And then we'll move down to the electives. So it's important that you read the directions for this. You'll choose the top 4 elective courses you wish to be scheduled in. So these are your top choices, the ones that you want to take the most. Each course is listed, or excuse me, each course listed is 1 semester in length. If you would like to take a course for a full year, you'll need to make sure that you select S1 and S2 classes. So that means semester 1 and semester 2 classes. If you have a term preference on PE courses, you can take more than once. Please make sure to note which semester you'd like that in. So say, for example, you're planning to do track and field in the spring and you want to do some training to prepare for that in the fall, so you'd take maybe like advanced sports training during semester 1 to prepare yourself for the track season. And then courses with A and B, so examples of that are chamber choir, concert band, wind ensemble are year-long classes, so you should be selecting both semesters for those courses. And then after you've chosen your top 4, you will choose 4 alternate classes in order of preference. These will be classes you will be placed into if your top 4 elective courses don't fit in your schedule. We try to do our best to get students in the classes that they want, but sometimes there's conflicts and it just doesn't work. So it's important to have some alternatives that we can look at, so the counseling office isn't making decisions for students about alternative electives that they want to be in. So when you are selecting those ones, you're going to want to make sure that those ones are different from the other 4, your top 4. So the alternative 4 that you're selecting are going to be different than the top 4 elective courses that you're selecting. And then make sure again to review the academic course guide, pages 15 through 35, for more information about each of the elective classes. It's super important to read those. A lot of kids like to forecast for classes that they want to take with their friends, which makes sense, but then they end up getting in classes that they do not like and aren't successful in. So just be mindful of that. And then before we jump into requesting the electives, there's just this key bank for symbols. So just be mindful of what each of these means. So a plus means that you can repeat the course for credit. So you could take the course maybe your freshman year and then take it again your senior year and you would get credit for that. Whereas some courses you can't take twice. And then there's the hashtag symbol, which means that there's an audition required for the course. So when I say audition, I'm thinking like the concert or the performing art classes like concert band or wind ensemble. Those are ones that you would have to connect with Miss Harris or Miss Mormon to audition for. The asterisk is there is a prerequisite required for the course. So again, review the academic course guide to learn which classes have prerequisites. An example of that is like art. In order to take art 2, you do have to take art 1 because it follows the sequence. And then S1 just stands for semester 1 preference, and then S2 stands for semester 2 preference. So now we're going to go down and we're going to select the courses that we want to take, our top 4 electives. So I'm going to do tribe choir because that's what I'm super interested in, and I hope to get into the chamber choir. So I think that that would be a good class to take. And I want to do it all year long. So I'm going to select the tribe choir +1 and the tribe choir +2. And then I think I'm going to do woods, and I kind of want to get a PE class out of the way. So I'm going to do team activities. And then we're going to look at our alternative choices. So these are choices that we're going to select that are different from these top ones that we selected. And they're going to be classes that will be put in case, you know, team activities doesn't work with our schedule or for reasons like that. So I'm going to pick, I'm super interested in animals, so I'm going to pick animal science. Ukulele would be fun. And then what else is there? Another PE class. And then, oh, I saw digital photo, that would be interesting. And then I'll hit the submit button. And once you've hit the submit button, that information will come to us and we will get you scheduled for it for next year. And then going back to the forecasting page on our school website and our counseling website, scrolling down to upcoming dates. So we want to offer some forecasting help sessions for our current 8th graders, 9th graders, and 10th graders. So on March 30th, March 31st, and April 1st, we will be offering Zoom sessions for students to come in and just drop in and get some help from their counselor or someone in the counseling office. The office hours for that will be 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. on all 3 days, and you would just click on this link, and then we'd let you in and we'd help you fill out the forecasting form if that's what you needed, or if you just had a question, we could help you with that. Parents are welcome to attend that with their students as well if they'd like. And then finally, we've got all of the counselors' contact information right here below. So if you maybe can't attend one of these Zoom sessions, or you just have a quick question that you want to ask us, feel free to figure out who your counselor is based off of your last name. And then you can either email us with a quick question, or you can use our Google Voice phone number that we're using during distance learning.
I touched a little bit on this already when I was going over forecasting, but a few things that are really important for you to know as you are going into forecasting is what is your math placement. So you can start talking to your current math teacher right now. What is the math that you recommend me to go in as an 8th grader or as a 9th grader? And then again, we get those lists. So it's good for you to know though. Then again, most 9th graders will be placed in physical science with the exception of those kids that have already completed geometry. That means you will be taking advanced algebra 2 in high school. We have figured that you are ready to move up to biology. Other than that, for success in general, we just like most 9th graders to take physical science. And then you move on to biology next, the following year. And then Spanish, because it's getting used to the high school and you know, just getting situated in the high school, we do want you to have a B or better in your regular language arts class. That means that you don't have issues with grasping just sentencing and speaking and so on in the English class, and therefore that translates to better quality Spanish learning. So we would like you to have a B or better in English 8 as you're moving into the high school if you want to take Spanish. So please just remember all of that when you're making your choices.
Okay, I know this is Alex Park again. I know some of you are taking algebra and geometry in 8th grade, and a question that we get sometimes is, can you put those grades on your transcript in high school? So a student's algebra and geometry grade and credit earned in middle school can be transferred to the student's high school transcript. But it is important to keep in mind that once that grade has been entered on the transcript, it cannot be altered or removed. So whatever grade you got in algebra or geometry in 8th grade will be on your permanent high school transcript. The grade will be included in the high school cumulative GPA and in the weighted GPA. And so if you were interested in doing this, you need to turn in a completed middle school credit transfer form to the high school counseling office. Now, there are pros and cons into putting your middle school grades on your high school transcript. And so if you are thinking about doing this, I would recommend contacting one of us in the counseling department at the high school, and we can answer questions about that. And it's also important to note that if you took algebra or geometry in middle school, you don't have to have that grade on your high school transcript in order to take the next level math in high school. You'll automatically place in there based on your teacher recommendation.
And then before we wrap up the forecasting and move on to athletics, just so you guys know, as parents that are watching this, all of your students will receive this information on March 17th in their second period classes at the middle school and at Salvie Island. Again, we will be offering the support sessions for students to attend that maybe want more individual help or just have questions. Students can pop in anytime between 9 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. on March 30th, March 31st, or April 1st. All students will be doing forecasting virtually this year. And then again, the ninth grade forecasting form can be found on the forecasting tab on the school website and then the school counseling website. And then just for everybody to know, all forecasting is due by April 5th.
All right. This is Adam, Athletic Director at Scappoose High School. Welcome all to Scappoose High School. We have a rich tradition of athletic success at Scappoose. And if you walk in our gym right now, you see championship banners hanging all over the place. And hopefully over the next 4 years, you can all be part of raising new banners to the rafters. So I encourage you all, like Mr. Jones said earlier, to participate in as many extracurricular activities as you possibly can. You should be doing something at school every season, whether it's being in the play, being in the musical, or going out for a sport, or doing something else. Do something outside just being in school. It will help your GPA. Every study that you can find shows that students that participate in extracurriculars, including athletics, have a higher GPA than their peers who do not. So I strongly encourage everyone to come out for the team this year. We're a very small, about 700 kid 5A school. So we need as many participants as we can get going out for sports. So welcome, we're excited to have you here. You can see here the list of sports that we have in each season, starting with the fall. Hopefully by next August, we're back in a traditional sports schedule. Obviously in this past year, we've been kind of thrown off, but this is the traditional schedule where we'd have the fall sports going first, beginning in August. They'll begin practicing begin workouts at the beginning of August and then roll into practice in about the third week of August and start competitions at the end of August or beginning of September. So in order to do that, we need to make sure that we have a couple things done. We need to make sure we have our clearance form turned in. We need to have our physical, an up-to-date physical on file, something done within the last 2 years. And for all incoming freshmen, that's what you need. And I anticipate probably also having to sign a COVID-19 waiver still in the fall. You can find all of this paperwork and information at our school website, scappoose.org//SHS, and go to the athletic homepage. Your freshman year is the only year you get a pass on academics. Everybody's eligible at the beginning of your freshman year. All incoming freshmen are eligible for sports. After that, going into the second semester of your freshman year, you have to meet eligibility requirements as set by OSAA. Those being that you need to be on track to graduate on time, and you have to have passed 5 of 6 classes and 2 of 3 J-term classes during the previous semester. So if you have those things done, you will continue to be eligible. We are students first and athletes second. We remember to always keep our academics at the forefront of our mind. Other places that you can get information about our sports, make sure you go to osaa.org and go and search Scappoose High School to find information about all of our coaches and athletics. Our schedules are on there, our rosters we posted on there. Also, athletic.net would be a place to go for cross-country and track information if you're one of those athletes. And finally, rank1sport.com is where you can sign up to receive up-to-date instant text messages and emails. And our amazing athletic secretary, Brenda Lohman, can help you with all of those things if you're having problems, or I can help you as well. Brenda's a good go-to person. You see the sports fees on the bottom of the page there. And I think that's pretty much all I have right now. We're looking forward to getting you all out in sports next year and seeing you on the fields of competition.
And I'm Miss Beth again, and I want to talk to you about the clubs that are offered at Scappoose High School. You know, the 2 that I want to highlight are the FBLA, which is the Future Business Leaders of America Club. It's another opportunity to get involved in the school, which is very important. You know, it's a really good program. They'll do interviews, practicing interviews. The DBN, which is Dude Be Nice Club, which is all inclusive. Everyone's welcome. They do fundraising and bake sales to help families in need, etc. And all these clubs, they're student-led with advisors. So you know, you could be a leader in one of these clubs. And truly, when you're looking at a 4-year college, they're looking to make sure that you're involved in clubs outside of school, because you know they want to have a well-rounded student. It's not all about academics, right? So we encourage everyone to become involved and be part of the school. You know, there's art, there's so many: art club, Asian club, bird watching. There's just a lot. Crochet, powerlifting. You can read through gaming. So there's something for everyone, and we certainly encourage you to join. It'll benefit you and as well as your GPA.
I just want to talk to you a moment about staying connected to all this information that we're providing tonight, and also going forward. This is we use a Remind app. You can download it to your smart device, and you're just going to use the text at SCAP 2025-28010 to kind of start getting information. And we use that to send out class information just specific to your incoming class, but we also will use it for all of our classes throughout, and also some of your other teachers will use Remind as well. I think some other quick things you should just be aware of to stay connected and have information is we have Instagram pages for the high school, Facebook and Twitter. We also utilize YouTube for information as well, not just for this incoming freshman, but throughout your high school career. So we're trying to make sure we're sending out information in lots of different modalities for you to stay informed, as well as parents. So thank you.
And just to go back over the contact information again, if you need to get in touch with us, Aaron Pinkstaff's the counselor for students with the last name A through G. I'm Alex Park. I'm the counselor for students with the last name H through N. Beth Schmigdahl is the counselor for students with the last name O through Z. And then Josie Bradley is the registrar, and Nicole Verzino is our counseling secretary. And please, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. And Jim Jones is our principal. You can see his email address there. Brad McKetty, vice principal, and Adam Stragan, the assistant principal. So there is the contact information if you need to get in touch with them as well.
Please join us for 8th grade Q&A family night on March 31st, 2021 from 6:30 to 8 p.m. And a reminder that all forecasting is due by April 5th, 2021. And thanks for being here tonight. I'd also like to thank our staff for putting together this very informative presentation. Our students and our staff are super excited about having you at the high school and seeing the mark of success that you leave on our school.